Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to PRTvSpurs Preview Show. Wednesday evening, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Tottenham Hotspur versus Brentford at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And joining me to go through the preview is Mr. Sean Hurl, Mr. Paxton Spurs, PRTV, the main man. How are you, Sean?
I'm okay. I'm trying to put as much distance between myself and last Friday night, where I was kind of stunned for a few days, I must admit, after Friday night. But yeah, looking forward to watching the boys tonight. Obviously, I'm not down at the stadium, sadly, but looking forward to watching the game tonight anyway.
Yeah, do you know what? Before we just move on, if you're tuning in, watching us from whichever format, make sure you please subscribe to PRTvSpurs. Obviously, we are transitioning into there, so we need everyone that was on PAXTON ROADTV to move across to PRTvSpurs, where all the content will be streamed. Do you know what? We had that Man United game where we drew 2-2, which everyone said we should have won, but it was one of them games. Then we had the break. Then we got a couple of signings in, and then I'm totally in agreement with you. That performance on Friday against Man City in the cup, it left a lot of Spurs fans coming out of that stadium thinking, do you know what? We should have won this. We should have won this and progressed, because this was the only chance now of a cup. And I said it in the groups. I said it to many people. We've had 3 cup games this season. Fulham, woeful, got knocked out on penalties. Burnley at home in the third round. Yes, we won 1-0, 80-odd minute goal, wonder goal by Porro. But that was a poor performance. You was there, Sean, like myself. It was a poor performance. And again, against Man City, a team that hasn't scored against us or beaten us at our stadium in 5 visits. We sort of give them an easy game. We let them into the game. We let them control the game from start to finish. And it never, ever looked like we was going to score a goal. And it was unfortunate for us, fortunate for them that they scored the goal with one of them. It could have gone either way. Keeper should have been better, should have been stronger. But I still think City were the better side that day, and we just didn't turn up. And I think we could have played another 90 minutes and not got a result. So quite disappointed now, because we've only got one thing to play for. And like Postecoglou said yesterday in his press conference, which I don't know if you've heard it or not, but somebody did say to him, oh, you're out of all the cups now. You've got nothing to play with. This is going to be the first time in how many years that you're not going to be winning a trophy. And he turned around and said, well, hold on a second. Are you counting us out of the Premier League then? And the guy went, so, realistically, no, we're not going to win anything this year. But we're in transition, aren't we? We're moving. So I said to you, didn't I, on Friday, it's how we now bounce back tonight against Brentford will determine not progression, because we are progressing, but it's whether how we now get knocked down and we get up again and we move on, because this is the only thing we've got left to do now, Sean, is fight for that top 4, top 3, top 2, whatever. And Postecoglou said it himself now. It's going to be very, very interesting and how my players now do between now and the end of the season, because I want to see how good they really are. So what are you expecting tonight then after last Friday? Well, Friday. What are you expecting? Because don't forget, we play tonight and then we play Saturday 12:30 kickoff. Where's Jurgen Klopp when you need him?
Yeah, well, obviously, I'm expecting a reaction. I think the players themselves, if you read their post-match interviews, they're all disappointed. But no, we can have no quarrel with the result. City deserved to win. Yeah. They dominated from minute 1, and we never really laid a glove on them. But we've got to respond. We're playing a team that we should be able to beat based on position, based on history, based on lots of metrics. We just need to take the 3 points. What I would like would be a convincing performance, because I think, although we've been winning games in the recent past, we've not been really convincing in our victories.
Yeah.
I don't, and obviously that hasn't been helped by the players that are missing through suspensions, through injury, and now through the international tournaments. But I'm hoping that we have a response tonight and we have a comfortable win. I would like a sort of 2 or 3 goal victory. Not predicting that, by the way, for later on, but it would be good to get something really convincing tonight. We're going to be playing our bête noire, which is the low block and transition team. So we're going to need to be a bit, canny, and hopefully with the 20 minutes he got in his legs, Maddison will be back and will give us a little bit of cutting edge.
Yeah, we'll talk about Madders later on because there was interesting what Postecoglou said. So we'll come to that in a minute. Right. So to be fair, if we go into the preview now, there's not much, to be fair, in terms of games, because if we look at it now, Spurs versus Brentford. Okay, before we do that, let's have a look at the league table actually. Liverpool on 48 points now, Sean, after 21 games. Arsenal 22 games, 46 points after their win yesterday. Narrow win, whatever you want to call it. Manchester City in third on 43 points. They play tonight. Aston Villa lost yesterday convincingly against Newcastle, which I was quite surprised actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3-0. So they're on 43. So we could technically go above them tonight if we win. So massive game, like you said, absolute massive game for us. And we need to bounce back and get back into it. Right. 5 meetings, Sean. That's it. Only 5 meetings. So like I said to you, there wasn't much in this one. We've won 1. They've won 1. We've won once at our place, once at their place. They haven't won at our place. And we've had 3 draws. I'm going to move straight onto that slide because 5
Did
games.
they not win at our place last season?
Not. Yeah, away win 1. Yeah, they've won 1. So yeah.
Yeah. They won at ours last season.
They won at ours. So December 2021, we beat them 2-0 at the Hotspur Stadium. 23rd of April 2022, it was a 0-0 at the GTEC Community Stadium. Boxing Day 2022, 2-2.
That was post World Cup, yeah.
Yeah. 20th of May 2023, 3-1. They beat us at our stadium. And 13th of August 2023, the first game of the season, as you remember, as you can see in the titles, Emerson Royal and Christian Romero scored the 2 goals. We come back from 2-0, I think, and it was 2-2. So 3 draws, Sean, 1 win either way. There's not really much we can say, to be fair, because it's 5 games. There's not much, is there really?
No, I mean, obviously for a long time they were not in the top division, so they were never really a competitor. So they're quite new competitor. They seem to have established themselves in the Premier League. So they might well be around for a little while yet. They seem to have got a good recruitment policy. They operate in a very different way to other clubs.
Yeah.
They, for example, they don't have an under-21 team. They just have a B team that plays friendlies, I think, throughout the season.
Yeah.
They don't have, so it's a strange setup, but it seems to work for them. Historically, they've always found, gems that have gone through their place, like Watkins, who's now at Villa. Tony, who's currently there, came from Peterborough, I think. So they do have ability to pick up British talent, but they've also managed to get the best of Europe as well. So a really, really well run club. And they have a well worked way of playing, which is difficult for us.
So my next slide. Last 5 games, we beat Forest 2-0. Brentford lost to Sheffield United 1-0. We beat Everton 2-1. They lost to Aston Villa 2-1. We lost to Brighton 4-2. What a result yesterday. That was for Luton. Oh, my days.
Yeah, that was a
Wolves,
surprise.
I know. Wolves lost to Wolves 4-1. Brentford, Bournemouth, Spurs beat 3-1. They lost 3-1 to Crystal Palace. We drew 2-2 in Manchester United, and they beat Nottingham Forest 3-2. So looking at the 5, they've lost 4, won 1. We've won 3, lost 1, drawn 1. I'm not going to say anything because we've said this many times before, where we looked at the other teams' opponents' previous fixtures, results, goal scoring, blah blah, and then they've come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and everything's just been blown away because a player who's never scored in 5 million years comes and scores at Tottenham. A team that's never won away from home for 400 games comes to Tottenham and wins at Tottenham. So as good as it looks, as good as we are playing, this is one of them games, and against a team where it's so unpredictable. And I'm not even looking at that right-hand side, Sean, because Bournemouth or Bournemouth, and you know what's going to happen. To be fair, it's not just Brentford, sorry. It's not just Brentford. It's any club that comes to Spurs, always up their game. So
the other thing you forgot to mention, Sid, was the goalkeeper turns up and has a worldie.
And absolutely, yeah.
The Tim Krul's, the Tim Krul's.
Yeah.
One performance a season, it's always at our place, but
that's what I mean. So 3 wins for us, 1 win, 1 loss and a draw. They've lost 4 out of 5.
I mean, as I say, on current form,
yeah,
we should be doing right. But those wins against Everton, against Forest and Bournemouth, they weren't convincing to me. You know what I mean? They were pretty heavy, hard on the eye at times. And I do feel that some players have overplayed. And I'm particularly looking at Porro because it's no coincidence that like last Friday he was a shadow of himself, and I just think, one, he was forced back to do defending, which is not his thing. But I just wonder whether is it still in his legs? He's done a lot of minutes, hasn't he? And he hasn't, he's not been rotated. So, but anyway, we'll see. I'm confident we can win, but I'm expecting reaction. I'm expecting a reaction.
Do you know what? This is the thing. I mean, you're like me, yeah. We go to a lot of games. So, have you actually seen this season? We've played all right. We've done well in decent games. We've done in patches, but I'm yet to see a very, very convincing victory in any of our games. I don't think we've had a very comprehensive victory, apart from the 5-2 Burnley. I've not at home. Can you remember a game where we've sat back and just thought this is an easy, comprehensive victory here? I haven't.
No, and I don't think Ange is, although he might not admit it in public, it probably isn't. He says he's been happy with the effort, but he has indicated that it's up front where we're not getting the rewards that we should be getting for our defensive and our midfield play.
Yeah,
and I still think that's our issue at the moment. I know this is not the place for transfer, but it was interesting to see the speculation this morning about a certain striker from.
We'll do that at the end. We'll do that at the end because I want your thoughts on that. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah. I want your thoughts on that because I've got mine, and we'll see if they're tallied together. Right. So, season so far, then Tottenham Hotspur in 5th, Brentford 14th. We've won 12. They've won 6. We've drawn 4. They've drawn 4. We've lost 5. They've lost 10. So we've got double victories over them, and they've got double losses over us. Average goal scored per game: 2.1 for Spurs, 1.45 for Brentford. 1.48 conceded as to 1.65. Now I want to talk to you something at the end as well. Which something Glenn Hoddle said as well, and I've been saying this all season. I've had a lot of fans, a lot of people in our groups disagreeing with me, but I want your opinion on it as well because I think it needs to be discussed. I
think I know where you're going. Yeah,
5 clean sheets as opposed to their 3 clean sheets. 2.29 chances created, 1.95 chance created. Biggest win 5-2 there. Biggest win 3-0. Aussie's loss is 4-1. Theirs is 4-1, I think. Right. So, looking at that, Sean, even though they've lost 10 games, their average goals 1.45 and average goals conceded, they conceding 1.65. We're conceding 1.48. So there's not much difference in that. And they're creating chances. We're just over 2. They're just under 2. So is it obviously we're doing what we're doing? We should be doing better. Brentford is not as bad as it looks, does it? As well.
No, I mean, if you want to see a team that's been hit by injuries, then Brentford have had quite a significant injury base, particularly down their left-hand side.
Yeah.
I believe they've got players away at the AFCON as well.
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, they've been as unlucky on the injury front as we have, and I still think they're a very competent side. They've got a very good coach. Who's kind of modern, one of these modern coaches, but it's the goals conceded which are really racking us, bringing us down, and that probably alludes to what you're going to talk about, I would think. But 5 clean sheets is not very good for a defence that we align on. We kind of lionize our defence. We say how good it is, but only 5 clean sheets. I do feel that's pretty poor in the season so far. As you say, only the Burnley game where we convincingly won, but even then we managed to concede 2 goals. And I remember was it Palace away where they scored a goal in the last minute which shouldn't have been given. I just wish we concentrated a bit more on the clean sheets, but that's because we give away lots of chances. Yeah,
this is it, and we'll discuss that because obviously right at the end, because it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed, and a lot of people are probably thinking, what, they're doing well, we're in transition, we got this, we got that, but we still need to talk about it because you can't brush over that. And that, to me, clean sheets could potentially win you the title, could win you, and we're not doing that. We're conceding in every single game, almost every single game, and every team that's coming to us are having chances, like you said. But we'll have a quick discussion on that as we move along. Right. So, in terms of team news, he said, obviously, the obvious players, Basuma on international duty, Saw's back. Dorrington's picked up an injury again. Ben Davies is back. Glassman is out again this week, so he's not available this week. Mr. Fiberglass, GLC. But apart from that, I think business as usual. And I'm thinking this is what he will say, because they asked him a couple of questions in his press conferences, and I think questions were raised about Dragusin not starting against Man City. And then he was asked whether he'll start in the next couple of games, seeing as we're playing like Wednesday, Saturday, midweek games, stuff like that. So his answer was, well, I'm not just going to play him just for the sake of it. So it's an interesting one. But I'm going with Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro again, because like you said, he needs a rest, but when does he get it? I don't think he will. Romero and Van der Ven, back 5. Agree? Any changes?
No, I can't. I mean, it kind of picks itself in a minute. I mean, if Romero's cramp that he had at the end of the City game was an indicator that he needs some rest, maybe that's where Dragusin Shin might come in.
Yeah.
But I would imagine, given that he's one of the vice captains, I would say he was probably safe, barring a reaction, and he's very good at hiding things. Turns out today that Dorrington has picked up a hamstring injury, so
yeah,
which is not obviously because he's not in the first team. He wasn't mentioned in the press conference. it's good to get the full press conference. I like to watch the embargo bit as well, so I've got an opportunity to see that. That was when he had his little joust with Moose, from TalkSport. And yeah, I can't see any change to the back four. And I just want them to. I just would like them to have a clean sheet and go chest bumping at the end of the game. Saying that we've done it at last. Yeah, that picks itself for me.
Yeah, that's midfield. Now I know Papa Sar's going to be back. I mean,
no, I think he's only getting back today. To be fair, yeah, he gave no indication at all that he would be picked tonight.
No,
and to be honest, I think given the scale of the defeat, I mean, I would be reluctant to pitch him in tonight. In fact, I might even be reluctant to pitch him in on Saturday, because I think that there's going to be a lot to get over for the young kids. So
yeah,
I would say Sarr won't be available tonight.
No, I think he said it. I think he said it that he's coming back, but he'll be ready for selection against Everton. So, but interesting one. I don't know if you've heard or not, but there's rumours circulating. I don't know how true it is, but Jackson for Chelsea is flying back today, and apparently is going straight to Manchester, to Liverpool, and he's supposed to be on the bench for Chelsea tonight. So that's madness or desperation. I don't know which one it is, but right. So midfield, then I'm going with. This is just my opinion. Yeah, after watching Man City game, I'm going with Skip, Bentancur, and Maddison. So with Maddison, he said, obviously they asked him and he said, he came. He said, yeah, he was fully fit. He was 100% fit. He said, I should have given him longer than I wanted to. He only came on with 15, 20 minutes to go. My intention was to play him for longer, but obviously the way the game was going and stuff like that, I brought him on a little bit later. But he said, maybe I should have brought him a bit earlier. So, because I think they had him planned to play more minutes. So I sort of didn't understand that one, because if you were planning on bringing him on earlier, it doesn't matter what the result was. It wasn't happening for us that game. So even we discussed it at halftime, didn't we? That bring him on at halftime, because you said it, didn't you? That I'd bring him on at halftime. So it was a weird one. I wanted to bring him on earlier, but the game sort of dictated when I brought him on. But we weren't doing anything, and we needed somebody like him. You can't bring him on with 15, 20 minutes to go to try and change a game, especially against Man City. So it's a strange one.
Well,
but
I suppose it was 0-0. That's the only thing I can think in Andy's defense. It was 0-0, so it was still, a game to be won at that point, I suppose. But I have to say, after two subs that came on, Maddison and Skip was far more the effective substitute in terms of getting us to progress the ball up the field. And I thought Maddison he looked very, very rusty indeed. So
he's going to take time, and I think it's a big game to come into, because don't forget, he'd just come on after Kevin De Bruyne, so he's going to take a bit of time, and I think that's why you need him at least half an hour to try and get back into swing. It doesn't matter, obviously, with the result, but he needed more time. But in terms of the midfield, then, do you think that is it, or do you think that Højbjerg starts instead of Skip?
That would be the midfield I would pick, I think.
Yeah.
But I wonder whether, I don't know. It's whether I wonder whether with Maddison, looking, as someone has already said, a little bit undercooked. He will start him on the bench again.
No, I think he starts him. I mean,
for me, it's hard to guess. I mean, he did look a long way off it, Maddison, I must admit. And I just thought maybe it's a case of, impact performances, but we'll see. It was, I mean, that was the three. I mean, obviously, you'd get no argument with me. I'm a defender of Skippy. I think he did nothing wrong to be dropped. In fact, I would have started him against City. rather than Højbjerg. But then Højbjerg had, by his standards, a pretty good game, apart from
up until the last 10 minutes.
Up to the last 10 minutes, and then he nearly gave 2 goals away. But
yeah,
it's who knows. I mean, Ange knows they see the player, but I prefer Skip's energy. I think he's got a better understanding of the system. He knows how to build up in triangles and pass around. I do like Bentancur in the 6. Yeah, I mean, I would love that. So far, I would love this team to be starting the game tonight, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, because I mean, even Bentancur against Man City, I thought it was quite poor. He had a poor game. He did have a poor game.
Yeah. I think the thing is, him and Skip can swap places. If Bentancur wasn't feeling it at 6, he could go into an 8, and Skip could do the 6. It gave him a bit more flexibility, or they can go with a double pivot.
This is it.
And then Kulu gets the freedom of the whole width of the pitch. But Kulu didn't have a particularly good game either, did he?
No, this is it. And I think we all know what's happening on Saturday anyway. We know this midfield is changing on Saturday because Sar's back. So, and I think that is a massive, massive boost to have Sar and Maddison actually back in that starting 11. But we'll do that obviously for Saturday's game whenever. Right. So this is my predicted line front 3. Some might like it, some might not, but I am now got to that stage where dropping Johnson. Kulusevski goes on the right for me. Werner starts on the left, even though he was non-existent on Wednesday as well. And Richarlison up top. The reason I've gone with Kulu on the right is because for weeks now we've been saying that Johnson's just been not at it. I think now it's getting to that stage where maybe he just needs to have that little bit time on the sideline, come on as a substitute, impact the game, and gain his confidence that way, because he's been starting week in, week out, and he's played him on the left, he's played him on the right. He's been in at it, he's been a couple of assists and stuff like that, but he's not been really at it. I mean, that chance he had against City on Friday, I think on another day, or if he's in the Forest shirt, I reckon he buries it, but he's still just lacking a little bit somewhere. And I think being on the bench will do him a hell of a lot of good. And maybe as an impact substitute, he might do well. Again, with what you're saying, Kulusevski had a poor game again on Wednesday as well. He was just not in the game. With Werner wasn't in the game at all. But again, is that their fault, or was it because lack of creativity? We just wasn't doing anything. So I go with Kulu on the right, Werner on the left, and then Richarlison sticks up top for me. Any changes you would do to that? Would you make something? Does Johnson stop for you?
I think, to be fair, in Johnson's defence, and I do think the kid's taken an awful lot of slack, a lot of slagging online. He's been overplayed. He's only a kid.
Yeah.
And, he's been playing week in and week out. I don't think in his heart of hearts that Ange would have wanted to play him every week. He would have wanted to bring him in. He used to do that with Jota at Celtic. He would put Jota on the bench every now and then and just introduce him, to sort of 60 minutes or whatever, when, players were tired, particularly in the way Celtic played with the ball constantly on the move. But yeah, I like the look of that team, to be honest, and I wouldn't be unhappy to see that come an hour before kick-off tonight. I thought Richarlison battled hard on Friday, but he was getting no service. And yeah, I think it's I felt sorry for Werner, because a number of times he offered the out ball, but we just didn't see it. As that allowed Walker to grow into the game. Walker had a brilliant game, doesn't it? 33-year-old, but he hasn't lost an ounce of his power and his pace. But he could have done with being pushed back a bit in the first half, and there were opportunities when Werner was available, and no one seemed to see the ball, and it was like everyone in the ground was looking down, almost pointing. It was like we were all pointing to the left hand side. Put it out there, but anyway, and it was Werner's chance for Brennan. I looked at that again today. Actually, I watched the game back on a little bit on Spurs playing. I mean, it really was half a chance. It was a little bit too close to the keeper. I think the best thing that Johnson could have done was to try and go around the keeper and maybe initiate a contact and get a penalty. To be honest, in the end, it wasn't really a shooting opportunity per se. But you know, keep working on it. Get those combinations together, and then just score once and score again, and get the game put to bed. You know, ideally, I'd like, for example, that the game is comfortable by 60, 65, 70 minutes, and Maddison can come off and have a rest, or you know, whoever needs it. You know, maybe bring on Royale for Porro or something. You know, just so that we've got
mix it up a little bit.
Even drag,
I hear what you're saying. The other thing, excuse me, is all I'll say as well is, if you're watching this, team, or if any Spurs players or anybody Spurs people are watching this, Tino, please, Werner, please remember, just before kickoff, Spurs players go into a huddle and there's a team talk from the captain. Please don't be doing what you did against Man City and start doing your runoffs on the left-hand side and everybody else is in the little huddle and you're like still doing your thing, and then you're looking and thinking, am I? Yes, mate, you're one of the Spurs players now, and this is what we do. So I'm sure you've been told, and I'm sure you've seen the replays, because everybody else was shouting at you saying, "Oi, get back into that huddle over there." So make sure you do that tonight, lad. Make sure you do that tonight and join in with the team. Right.
Maybe they haven't added into the WhatsApp group yet.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't know. You know what I mean? But then again,
do you remember that? Was it? I think Son said a few weeks after he initiated that against Brentford.
Yeah,
he sent a message to Romero. He never got a reply. He said he hadn't got a reply even now. This is like 2 months later.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember that one. So, like I said to you, we've got to talk about, right. So Glenn Hoddle mentioned it the other day as well, and we've been saying it now. We need to start keeping clean sheets more. We seem to, every single club that's coming to Tottenham, and I'm going away as well, every team has opportunities to score. Every team will score. Now we've now got, and we were saying this, potentially the best back five in the Prem, with Destiny, Van der Ven, Romero, Porro, and Vicario. But for the life of it, we've only kept 5 clean sheets. And I'm sure if you look at them 5 clean sheets that we kept, I'm sure we probably should have conceded in them games as well. So I don't know what it is, whether it's lack of concentration or I don't know what it is, but every team thinks they can come and score at Spurs, and they are. So if we're going to be serious title challengers or contenders, if we want to win these cup games, we need to cut conceding goals, because every defense, City, the Gooners, Liverpool, even Man United, they know how to keep clean sheets when they need to. But for us, we just cannot do it. And I don't know what it is. But seriously, I think a lot of people are saying that now, that yes, Spurs are scoring, but they're just as much conceding. And when does Postecoglou start recognizing that, or is that just going to be his way of playing, where if we concede, we concede? Is he? I don't want it to sound the wrong way, but is he bothered about keeping clean sheets, or is he just wants to win the games, regardless whether it's 3-1, 2-1, or is he just doesn't want to win 1-0 games and try and keep a clean sheet? Because as far as I'm aware, isn't if you keep a clean sheet, the defenders and the keeper get a bonus as well? Or has that all changed?
Who knows? I mean, certainly up here at Celtic, he they wouldn't concede that many, or not as many as we have. But he does expect us to score 1 and then 2. He doesn't want us, he doesn't want us looking at the clock in the top corner where it says 1-0 and thinking that's it. He wants us to go for the second. And I do find at times that we are our own worst enemies, because we sit between that, not defensive and not attacking. You know, we go 1-0 up, and we don't really, as his famous saying, put the foot on the neck. You know, go for the second goal. We seem to think, you know, we seem to sort of sit back and admire ourselves. You know, oh, we've scored, we're 1-0 up. You know, and of course it's important in the Premier League. First goal. I mean, statistically, you win more games than you lose. But you just can't. You know, you've got to go on the offensive. You can't slack off. You know, and that's what I find is that we're neither fish nor fowl. You know, or flesh nor fowl. Whatever. It's like we don't continue in the way that we've been doing in order that we've established that lead, and that's what I want to see tonight. You know, I mean, we did. I think that the last time we scored 2 unanswered goals was Everton, was it?
Yeah.
And then Everton came back and scored a goal. So you know, it's we need to get a foot in the game, but we also need to, you know, more than put a foot in. We need to establish that first and second goal. Second goal is so important. You know, first one is obviously very important, but getting 2 goals ahead is so important.
This is it. I mean, like I said to you, we need to stop, you know, because this season now, or even not this season, the second half of the season now is going to be so important because he said, obviously, we want to give it as much shot as possible, and for me, it's a matter of we need to start keeping clean sheets, because if we keep clean sheets, we're stopping the team from scoring and getting back into the game. And that is massive because, like you said, we're getting the first goal, second goal, and then even if we get a second goal, like you said, which is sometimes quite hard, we're just sitting back. Whereas the likes of City, Liverpool, you get the first, you get the second, they want more. I mean, I'll give Luton as an example yesterday. They got the first, they got the second within 2 minutes. And then they carried on. It doesn't look like they set back, and they ended up getting 4 against Brighton. We're not doing that. And the longer we do that, people now know that, you know what, Spurs, they can score 1 or 2. If we get at them, we'll get 1. Like I said before, they'll get 1. And if they get 1, then the confidence grows in the opponents, and our confidence goes. And then they can think, you know what, we can get a second one here. And probabilities are teams will.
To be honest, I mean, like, for example, I don't mind conceding a goal at 3 up. I mean, you know, 3-0, 3-1 isn't the be all and end all. But you know, it's like we seem to admire ourselves a little bit too much, and I think we need to get a bit more canny, and also we need to be a bit more. You know, we got a really good lesson from City last week on how to disrupt players when you're out of possession. You know, little body checks and, you know, little things like that, you know, that don't get picked up because they're off the ball. You know, things like that, you know, little, you know, as Mourinho used to say, and I hate to quote that man, but, you know, you have to be a bit of a see you next Tuesday, you know. And you know, when a left back is on a yellow card, I want Kulu to be, you know, engaging him on 1-to-1s and getting him a red card, you know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you've got your chance to, you know, possession, pass them in, you know, really tire them out. So yeah, we've got to be a bit more street smart at times. And you know. I'm hoping with a bit more balance and without the sign of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who has a role. Let's, you know,
he's staying now till the summer, so
so he's going to be around, and they will be games when he's useful. You can't deny he wrestled the game back from City at the Etihad, you know, and he's had some games where he's kind of seen the game out. But let's carry on. Let's not stop at 1. let's really bury, you know, let's get the anger out after losing on Friday. That's what I'd like to see tonight. Players are so pissed off that like the fans are, that we went out of the cup so limply, you know, and all the caveats. Yeah, it's Man City, world champions, blah 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 blah. But we went out limply.
Yeah.
Let's react.
Yeah.
And let's react by sticking the ball between the posts as often as possible and get that keeper with a backache picking the ball out of the net. No?
Absolutely. Jude's not obviously saying here, we haven't spanked a team in a long while. Angelo Tyro is saying here, slacking comes off down to boneheads that don't keep working on the pitch. Do you know what, though? I think we've got now, I don't think we've got any slackers in that team. I think everyone now is giving 100%. But saying that, obviously,
we also play risky. We play on the edge, you know, it's the end way, you know, and it's much more exciting, much easier on the eye than last season's debacle, you know. But yeah, Juice is right. We do dinner too much in the final third. Take some shots.
Yeah, have some shots from outside. We're trying to do the Barcelona way, innit? Where we're trying to.
It's like, remember the days of like the latter days of Wenger, where they were trying to walk the ball into the net.
That's what I mean.
We're doing that.
We're trying to do that. Yeah. That's the difference between a top team and an also ran. Need more street smarts. Ronnie's
absolutely, Juice. Absolutely.
Yeah. Ronnie's put his team up, and I think he's gone with Vicario, Radu, Van der Ven, Destiny, Skip, Bentancur, Madders, Kulu, Richie, and Werner. Vicario. He's dropping Romero. Romero won't get dropped. Full stop, because he's already said it. Because he's captain as well, so he won't. I don't think he drops him.
Yeah, I think because he's been there longer, he has seniority over Madders for the vice captaincy.
Yeah. I don't think he.
I mean, it wouldn't be too bad a team.
It wouldn't.
Too bad a team. And if, you know, as I said, Ronnie, you know, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I was saying that if that cramping that he had towards the end of the game against City was indicative of a, you know, weakness, then maybe it would be good for him to have a rest. Too many of our players have done a lot of minutes. Yeah. You know. Porro in particular, I'm very, very concerned that he's burning out a bit, you know.
It's a professional.
And a telltale sign, that's the first time we haven't scored all season last Friday.
I know.
First time.
But it's a cup game, so I'm allowing that. It's okay. It's a cup game. But yeah, I hear you. In terms of, obviously, we're now going to ask for the score predictions, but in terms of Brentford, right? They've got Hickey, Mbuamo, and Kevin Sade are the long-term absentees. Regulant cannot play against his parent club. And they're also without Godos, Onyeke, and Wieser as well. So they're using the Mbuamo and Wieser are not playing for them tonight. But obviously, Ivan Toney's back. So they, like you said at the beginning, they've got injury issues as well, and we have as well. But we've now sort of got most of our players back. Apart, obviously missing now is Son and Bissouma. They're the only two now, and then when they come back, then we're back to full strength. So interesting one. I'll go straight in. Ronnie's gone in with a 4-1 to Spurs. Come on, you Spurs, Ronnie says. Sean,
I'd love that, Ronnie. I would love that, Ronnie, but I'm not confident. Confident.
What? See, the thing is, Sean, right? And as fans, we could say two things, yeah? We could say as a song, I can't remember who sang it, but it was Mo, Mo, Mo. We want more goals. Or we could go to that Pastor Coglu and say, please, sir, can we have some more goals? Goals? You want more goals? Juice Nuts has gone for 2-1 to Tottenham against, and we're going to beat Brenda today, 2-1.
Well, I think that says lots about Juice Nuts, but we'll ask him offline who Brenda is.
Who Brenda is, yeah. Tony is the only worry. I'm not worried about Tony, to be fair. I am not worried. Every time we've played Brentford, I have never been worried about Ivan Toney. Doesn't concern me.
Well, if we give away a penalty, he's a worry.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it doesn't concern me. I'm okay with that. So, what's your, Sean? Go for it. What's your prediction for tonight?
I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1 to us.
3-1.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm seeing Richie scoring again. I'm seeing Werner scoring and whoever another for the third one. I don't even mind if Werner gets a couple, fine.
Yeah.
Gio and Cess must be the worst value. Yeah. Sessegnon in particular, I've been done with Sessegnon for a while.
But have you
I
noticed
really thought Gio was gonna, but he's just not fit enough to do the Premier League.
Do you know what? And I'm sure, I don't know if I'm right or not, but I'm sure Sessegnon always gets injured towards the end of a transfer window. Or before, in between the transfer windows, his injuries come. So I mean, he come back that day after such a long spell, and now he's gone for a while. We don't know what's going on. So I think it's time now that they just need to say, do you know what, mate? You need to go. And as for Lo Celso, I was crucifying him last season, so I don't know I don't understand it. He was supposed to be out for one game, and he's not even back. He's supposed to be back for today. He's not. It'd be interesting if he's in the squad for Everton on Saturday. If he's not in for that one, then I don't know what's going on with him. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with him.
For me, of that 2019 window, Sessegnon and Ndombele are the worst acquisitions we got.
Yeah.
I think Lo Celso, there's a player in there, but I just don't know whether he's got the strength. Although, having said that, what was the game he played? Was it Bournemouth? Did he play against Bournemouth, or was it Everton?
Who?
Lo Celso.
Bournemouth when he scored that goal. Yeah. Bournemouth, yeah.
And he got absolutely kicked from beginning to end, Yeah. And no player can tolerate the amount. I mean, look what they did to Maddison. I mean, Chelsea 6 fouls on him, and he was off, And everything has gone wrong since November the 5th, November the 6th, and we've never really recovered from that. I mean, if you look at that, it's been really, really difficult. The fact that without those injuries, without that night, we'd gone on to beat Chelsea, and we would be well into the top 4.
Of course,
no doubt about it. But
unfortunately, ifs and Watson, whatever.
Yeah, ifs and buts, and
Angelo Tyrell, I would say, and Ndombele and Johnson are the worst. I would say yes.
Come on, that's too early.
Johnson, no. Johnson's a young one, like you said. He's coming into. He's come from the Championship into potential.
God forbid, Ronnie, you were around when Chris Waddle turned up. Bloody hell, you'd have bloody sent him all at home.
But I think he's in you've got to give him. He's come from.
This is the benefit of my experience. I've seen players who we now consider legends, like Chris Waddle, who had a nightmare. Couldn't put a foot right, and yet we now hold them up as like experts or legends of our club. I'm gonna I'm defending Johnson too early.
He's too early.
Overplayed.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, 100%. Right. So the other thing, my prediction then, I think, do you know what? I would love it if we score more than 2 goals, to be fair, but I'm sort of, I don't know, I'm not 100% because Brentford are one of them teams that you don't want them coming to you on such a bad run of form, because Thomas Frank is a good manager as well, and he'll set them in. He'll set them in play. He'll set them up the way he wants them to play to frustrate us. And I can see another frustrating game performance-wise. And I'll probably think 2-1. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet again. This is the problem. And if we don't keep a clean sheet today again, questions need to start being asked. I'm telling you now, because yes, we've got all these players and we've got all these defenders and whatever. Where are they going to start keeping clean sheets? So I think it's going to be 2-1. I think it's going to be another one of them frustrating Tottenham Hotspur performances, and we'll end up getting the points, but it'll be a struggle, and we'll win 2-1. And finally, before we shut down, we've got to talk about it because it's been linked today. Would you pay 50 million for Solanke? Is he worth 50 million? I personally, in my opinion, not worth 50 million. Yes, he's had an all right season this season. He's done well, 14 assists and goals this season. But prior to that, hit and miss. and now they're pricing him at 50 million. He's not worth 50 million. And my biggest worry is if, and I don't think it's going to happen anyway, I think it's all paper talk. If it does materialize 50 million and it doesn't work out, then they're going to stop like they've done with Johnson. He's going to become a scapegoat and it's going to be a lot of pressure. I'm just hoping we don't pay the 50 million because there's a lot of better players out there for a lot less, in my opinion. Sean, what's your opinion?
I really don't know. I mean, it's English tax, isn't it? I mean, it's like around about the same as what we paid for Johnson in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, we do need a striker. He is a striker who's in form.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. I mean, I've been looking up. The only interesting fact I found out is that I'm actually from a town called Basingstoke originally. I know I live up here in Scotland now.
Basingstoke, yeah.
Basingstoke, yeah. And he went to school in Basingstoke. That's all I know about it. And he went through the Chelsea Academy, although we obviously think he was Liverpool.
I mean, it's English.
He's homegrown.
Yeah.
We always have problems with homegrown players. I can see advantages, but I think
50 million.
That is a position we need to address in the summer.
Yeah, not now.
I mean, I think, you know, Korea are limping through the Asian Cup. I mean, they were like a minute away from being eliminated yesterday.
A minute away? They scored in the 90 plus 9 minutes.
I know. So, I mean, and in the end, it went to penalty. So, and amazingly, Basuma is the last one left in Africa. I mean, you know, that's another strange one. Although he's playing tonight, so he could hit Basuma.
No, they played yesterday.
No, that was Papa Sarr played yesterday.
No, Mali won 2-1.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, yeah, they won. Yeah, so
he was on the bench. He's still suffering from malaria, isn't he? So
yeah, he's I don't know. I just want to. I want a player that is thought out. You know, and there's a little bit of it smacks of panicking, doesn't it?
Yeah, but Postecoglou has said there's no more incomings. He said it in his interview.
He says he doesn't. He's very canny, Sid.
I know
he said he thinks it's unlikely. That's not the same as never or not. You know, so
but
he left it open.
In the window, Sean.
Yeah, but you know how it is that.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I understand that Bournemouth rather have some FFP issues coming up, or was it profit sustainability PSR, whatever it is, coming up. So you know, in the summer, and that usually means it has to be cleared by June the 30th. So do they panic? You know, who knows?
Yeah, but the thing is as well, Bournemouth haven't got anyone set up in replacement, so it would be a very, very bold decision for them to get rid of this.
They'll have someone lined up.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, quick one before we move and go. Rumours about Gill at Brighton on loan. I don't know how true that one is, but
it would be a good loan for him. Deserby, but he's going to be competing with Matuma. Is he going to get him ahead of Matuma? Seems strange. I mean, he should go to the Premier League to see. At least we will then get an idea of whether he's going to be a Premier League player. But I don't know.
So that's the preview show then. Wasn't much really to be because we've only played them 5 times. But final thoughts before the game tonight then, Sean. What you're saying?
Just come on, boys, and lift us out of the gloom of last Friday, please. I want a performance. I want 3 points. I want the 3 points, possibly even more than the performance, but a performance would be good as well. And some goals, please. Take some shots. Take some risks. Take some risks at their end of the field, not just at our end of the field, please.
Yeah. All I've got to say is, look, we were all saying we want this player back. We want players back. We want players back. We're injury. We're doing really well without the players. Now we've got Van der Ven's back. Now we've got Romero back. Bentancur's back. Maddison's back. Saw's going to be back for Saturday. We're only missing 2 players now. So, yes, Son is quite an integral part of our front line. However, we've now got a lot of the players back. We now need to start pushing and now upping the performances and killing games off and not giving any teams any opportunities. And it's like you said, Sean, win the game off 60, 70 minutes, make it comfortable. So if he does want to make the substitutions, he can give a couple of players the rest. That's all I'm going to say. But as always, this is Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and it's always the reverse that happens. But listen, we go on. We go tonight to the Hotspur Stadium. The fans are going to be there with this new light show, palaver, whatever, to save electricity. Daniel Levy.
Come on. It's a nightclub.
Fully charge your batteries, everyone. 100% batteries, and make sure you check your rechargeable units as well to charge your batteries, because Daniel Levy wants to save electricity tonight, because that's how the fans are going to pay for.
Yeah, the fans were brilliant on Friday. They really did get behind the team, but it was
fans are always brilliant, Sean.
Yeah, but it was it was a hard watch, and we need. I don't want any more hard watches. I want games where I can just
relax.
Up.
Don't do it. Yeah, absolutely. Right, Sean, thank you for joining me. Thank you, everyone in the comment section. Thank you for your comments. If you haven't already subscribed, please, PRTvSpurs. PRTvSpurs is where we're at, where we're going to be for the foreseeable future. Come and join us. Get all your friends. Get everyone from Paxton Road TV. Tell them all we're all coming on this side. Come over to not the dark side, the good side. The good side. We're all one side anyway, but we're going to move over. So please make sure you give it a like. If you're going to the game, enjoy the game tonight. Please make sure you join us tomorrow afternoon, probably for the reaction show. We won't be doing it tonight. We'll probably be doing it tomorrow. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you're watching the game, like George Michael said, you got to have faith. There you go.
Cheers, Angelo.
Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, so wherever you're watching the game from, whether at the stadium, whether you're watching it on telly, whether you're out in a pub, whatever, enjoy the game. And as always, come on, you Spurs.